Hi guys, today I did this pastel purple eye makeup look. Whenever I'm getting ready for any kind of special springtime event, whether it be a wedding, something like that, I feel like when in doubt, just go with purple, because purple really does look good on everyone. I think personally any color looks good on anyone, but especially purple. It's easy to wear. You really don't have to worry about, am I pulling this off right now, because it just always looks good. It's just one of those colors that just really does look amazing on everyone, and especially for spring I wanted to do something really bright, so I went with like a pastel look. I'm using one of my favorite drugstore eyeshadow collections, I guess, the Red One Color Stay Quad in Seductive. I don't know where it is right now, but you'll see it in the tutorial. And so fairly inexpensive products. So anyways, I'm going to get started and show you guys what I did. Okay guys, so anytime I'm doing like a pastel eye makeup look, I always try to use a white cream eyeshadow base. And this is my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. And I'm just going to trace that onto my eyelid. If you have issues with creasing, you want to make sure you apply an eyeshadow primer first. So I'm just going to trace that onto my eyelid, almost like as if I were applying a really messy eyeliner, and then blend it up the rest of the way with my finger. If we want our entire lid to come across looking really bright, but we still want that gradient from our lid to the inner corner, where the inner corner is still brightest. So what you want to do to get that look is just make sure you apply more of it, a little bit more in the inner corner, and a little bit underneath. Then what we're going to do with that is blend it out with a brush. And I know this looks crazy, and if you try to get your finger in there to blend it out even more, it's just going to look even more crazy. So that's why I use a smaller angled brush. This is an E70. So it's small enough that you can really get in there, but it's just has enough fluffiness that it's going to blend this out really nicely. So you just want to kind of feather this around. You just want it to almost be like a halo of lightness around your inner tear duct. And then I'm going to switch up to my Red One Color Stay Quad in Seductive. I'm actually going to start off with this color right here. It's a shimmery pastel purple. And using my E60 shader brush, I'm going to pat that all over the area where we applied our NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. And I really want this pretty shimmery lilac color to be the focus of the look. So I'm going to spend the most time with this one, just making sure I'm really pressing it into any areas where I applied that white base. And this color is still pretty bright, so I can apply it in the inner corner as well. And then just blend it up through the crease. I'm going to switch up to this E35 tapered blending brush because it gives you nice subtle definition. We don't want this look to get too dramatic. And I'm going to use this candy purple right here. And I'm going to apply that into the crease, but you want to be careful not to bring it too far down onto the lid. Just want to keep going back and forth with that color. Don't overblend. It can be easy to overblend and go crazy, but sometimes just less is more. And I do like to connect my crease color down in the outer edge of my eye just a little bit, but just so it's nice and subtle, I'm just going to get a little bit of color on the end of the brush and just wiggle my brush a little bit in that outer corner. So I'm not really tracing a very precise outer V, I'm just wiggling the brush a little bit so the color connects, and it's more of like a soft focus definition we have going on. This is an E40 blending brush, and I'm going to use this brush and my highlight shade to blend out around this look. And it's just a touch lighter than the lid color we used, but it's just that really pretty, it's like the ultimate pastel purple color. And apply it to your brow. So we're killing two birds with one stone. I'm just going to blend out my crease color with the highlight as well, and swirl it in the inner corner. Sometimes when you're using a white cream eyeshadow base and then packing on a lighter color that has shimmer to boot on top of it, can get a little cakey and a little bit like sketchy. So that's why I just like to use a really fluffy brush whenever I'm going for a really bright look, especially when I'm using that NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the inner corner. And it also just applies a nice thin veil of color, which allows the light to reflect, and you really get a more reflective, glowy highlight. So I totally forgot about my lower lash line, so I'm going to go back to that E60 flat shader brush and pick up some of that lid color we used first. Just going to apply that very lightly under the lower lash line, and then also just using that same flat shader brush, I'm going to take some of that candy purple color. Just apply that to the outer edge of my lower lash line. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to switch up to an E30 pencil brush. You guys probably guessed what's coming up next. I'm going to get some of this pretty, it's like a dark violet color right here, subtle shimmer. It's not too shimmery though, it's easy to build up intensity with this color. And I'm going to line my upper lash line with this, and so I don't get a ton of fallout, first I'm going to tap off my brush. Then I'm just going to dot it onto the lash line, just to make sure you're getting as close to your eyelashes as you can. Then what you can do is start to feather it. I'm going to make a little wing with my pencil brush, and then I'm going to take the little wing I created and just kind of blend it up into the crease. So you can see the little teeny tiny V I'm making right there. And it's okay if it's not perfect, because what I like to do is go back to the crease brush that I used, because it's going to be a little bit smaller for that smaller area, and then blend it out with that. And that'll make it just like the perfect intensity. I'm going to go back to my pencil brush real quick, pick up some more of that darker, deep violet color, and just wrap it around into the very outer portion of my lower lash line. For my lower waterline, I'm going to use a brown eyeliner just because I think that brown and purple look beautiful together, and it's a little bit softer of a look. It's not as harsh as black. This is my Smashbox Limitless eyeliner in Espresso. For the upper lash line, I'm going to use one of my favorite drugstore eyeliners ever. This is my Maybelline Master Precise eyeliner pen. This thing is amazing. See how long the tip is? It really, really helps to apply a nice thin line, because what you can do is just hold it sideways. I never really draw my eyeliner on like a pencil. I always just hold it sideways. Press it down into the base of my lashes like that. You get much better at this the more you practice. And then for that inner corner, we want that to be very tapered and very subtle. So what I'm going to do is actually aim a little bit lower than my lash line. Don't poke yourself in the eye. You just want to aim a little bit lower, and that will give you an ultra, ultra thin line. Just got to make sure it's matching the other side. It's probably good to check on. Okay. And I'm using my Maybelline XXL Pro 24-hour Bold Mascara. This stuff is really, really great. I don't use it on a daily basis just because it is 24-hour mascara, so it is a little bit more difficult to remove with the rest of the face. I just decided to go with pinks on my cheeks and lips. But first I applied a little bit of bronzer, my Tarte bronzer in Hotel Heiress. And this brush, this is actually the Teddy Bear, one of the Teddy Bear brushes from Too Faced. And the blush I'm going to be using is the Bare Minerals Ready Blush in the Faux Pas. It's a really pretty bright pink. It's like a cool pink. And just lightly, very lightly apply it to like the apples of my cheeks, and then a little bit around my hairline, just because I feel like it looks weird if you just have a bright color in one spot on your face. So I like to kind of subtly incorporate it into some other spots.